Hi, all. We're once again on air with another update on what's happening with the winter storm, the ice storm that is going to be impacting the Carolinas starting tonight. Again, we talked a lot about the swath of how large the system is from Arizona over toward New Mexico and the New England states. Of course, I know there's a lot of people who are out and about trying to get last minute preparations done. You should be in your safe place, ready to go with your friends, your family members, neighbors, whoever's going to be with you by tonight at 6 o'clock. So that gives you about 2 more hours to get everything ready to go as our rare ice storm warning remains in effect, as ice is expected to be the biggest impact from pretty much the mountains, eastern facing slopes, all the way down toward the Charlotte area. When we look at these comparisons of ice potential between the 0.5 and the 0.7, you can see for most of our area that is reminiscent of 2016, 10 years or so ago, even closer to 2002. So essentially, I think this ice storm is going to sit kind of one spot in between the two of them. That could mean widespread power outages and lots of slick roadways. The storm again starting really tonight to start to pick up precipitation wise, and that's going to be the biggest question mark, is how much do we pick up? I've already seen some reports of snow up in the mountains and sleet in areas north of Charlotte. Again, the sleet is expected first. We've talked about that for a few days now, and then freezing rain is expected to accumulate on top of that. If we get closer to that half-an-inch mark, that's when you would see, again, dangerous travel on the roadways, widespread power line potential damage, and tree damage too. The tree damage itself, of course, can fall on the power lines, or the power lines can be impacted themselves by solely just the ice. Here's a wider view of satellite and radar. You can kind of see that mess beginning to move into areas west of us, locally closer to home. Again, anything that's falling right now is likely snow or sleet. Temperatures across the Charlotte area from pretty much Charlotte north up toward the mountains are at least 32 degrees or below. So again, anything that develops right now, snow or sleet, and even if you get a lucky novelty flake, things are going to get rapidly worse as we go through the overnight hours. Here's 9 o'clock. You can see again areas of sleet. That's that purple coloring. As we continue into tomorrow morning, the warm layer, which is what melts the snow and allows for sleet or freezing rain to happen, is going to extend and get a little bit higher due to winds pouring more out of the south and southwest. With that being said, our big changeover to freezing rain starts Sunday morning, and this is where the biggest impact starts. Again, because sleet is more of a nuisance, that's the little tiny ice pellets that make the ding sound, but freezing rain is when we see rain freeze on contact with surfaces. This is what creates the big issues on the roadways. Bridges, overpasses, we know freeze first because you got cold air on top and cold air on bottom. So again, by tonight, right around 6 o'clock, you should be in your safe place to stay for the majority of Sunday, if not all day Monday as well. As you notice, as we go futurecast wise into Sunday afternoon, there might be some pockets of times that looks like we're seeing lesser precipitation, but remember, with our wedged in situation, there likely will be some times of drizzle, which is just as bad as freezing rain. As we get closer to 6 p.m. tomorrow, our in-house model is trying to hint at true rain falling from the sky, but notice it doesn't really align with temperatures still below freezing, so cautiously optimistic that that will be just cold rain, but it looks more than likely it'll be freezing rain all the way to the end of the event, which is expected to be Sunday night, and then we know the cold air sticks around through the majority of Monday and into Tuesday morning. Latest winter weather impacts, just like we said for a few days now, seems to be Charlotte, north up toward the mountains, and again on those eastern facing slopes, not just in Ashe, Watauga, and Avery County, but also toward the Asheville area. They're likely going to see higher impacts because they have a lot of cold air that starts to moisturize as we get that warm southwest, or really the warm southwesterly wind causes the freezing rain. But before that gets here, we see that southwest wind allow for some of those eastern facing slopes to see a lot of additional moisture. So again, something our team's keeping a close eye on. Again, we know that winter weather precip types are pretty similar between sleet and freezing rain, but again, it's that warm layer, how dense it is, that's the difference between the two, and that's why this starts as a sleet event and then transitions into freezing rain, again mainly overnight and into the day on Sunday. As you look at your Jerry Hunt Super Center 7-day forecast, again we're keeping folks weather alert all the way through this evening, Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday morning, as dangerous lows near 8 degrees. Single digits will be possible. Thankfully, it does look like at times Monday and Tuesday afternoon we should get a bit above freezing, but unfortunately it does look like we'll see impacts because of the ice not really melting completely until at least Tuesday morning. We'll be back in just about 30 minutes or so right here on WCNC Charlotte. And remember, we are nonstop coverage right now on WCNC Plus until the event is over.